welcome or welcome back, whichever it is. I'm happy you're here. Before I begin, gotta give thanks. Thank you to all of you, new and old. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for tuning in. I hope you like what you see, and I hope you stay. So today's video, it's been one I've been thinking about for a while. I was trying to think of like the top 10-ish things I would get if I had no money and had to shop at the dollar store. So some might say, why dollar store, Tina, when you have ShopRite, Acme, Aldi's, Walmart? And my answer would be simply because not everybody has access to the things that we do. Not everybody has a car. Not everybody lives near grocery stores. Here I am, late in life, and finally hearing the term food desert. I've never heard of that before. Now, I knew people were hungry and stuff in our US of A, but I didn't know that there was such a thing called a food desert. And it got me to thinking, well, I can go to 5 different stores. They're very local. I can make the loop and be back and be no never mind to me. But somebody else may only have a Dollar General. They may only have a dollar store. And just because you have to eat on a budget doesn't mean you have to feel like it's a struggle meal. Another reason for doing the dollar store video is to inspire you, to get you to think outside of the box, because there might be some things that are better over there and you're just driving by because that's just the yucky old dollar store. So I just thought maybe I would inspire or get you thinking, ooh, you know what I would do with that? And then fill in the blank. So if you're broke, or you don't have transportation, or your only source is dollar store, I want to show you what I would pick if it were me and I had to go to the store. At the end of this video, I'm going to cook for 9 people. It's a quickie dinner. It's nothing spectacular, but I just want to show you what you could do if you had to for a regular, everyday family meal. So let's get right to the list. So the reason for my top 10 picks, why I picked what I picked, I should say, is 1, that they're staples, 2, that they're versatile in the kitchen, 3, you get the most bang for your buck for the $1.25 price point, and thirdly was just to get enough calories in to get you through until your next payday, so you can get to some money, so you can get to a regular grocery store and get what we're going to call real groceries, but these are real groceries, but better priced groceries, I should say. So number 1 on my list is rice. You could do so many things with rice, and they have several different kinds. They have brown rice, white rice, jasmine rice. Personally, I would stick with the either brown or white because it's 2 pounds for $1.25, and the jasmine rice is 1 pound for $1.25. So personally, I would gravitate towards more for my money than less for my money if I needed to stretch it. So depending on the situation would be whether I would get the jasmine rice or the white or brown. That's that. Rice. Beans. Yep, I said it. Beans. I know they probably get a bad rap. Maybe people aren't used to eating it and they get gastrointestinal type of issues. But they can be very delicious. I'm not big on the beans. You don't see a whole lot of it in my videos, but I do use them. And we are going to be gravitating a little bit more towards them in some of the videos, just because it's a new world cooking with beans for me. But you could do a lot with beans. And 1 bag of beans is equal to multiple cans of beans. And you could do so much with them, from everywhere from refried beans to bean burgers, to soups, stews, all kind of things you can use them in. You can change them from their regular, what they look like, into something totally different. So I really feel like if you give them a chance and really give it a go, you might find out that they're not that bad. And the Dollar Tree has a great variety of beans. So you won't be limited to, oh, I just got these kidney beans. You have black beans, pinto beans, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, lentils, northern beans. They have a lot. So it offers a lot of fiber, nutrients. It's just beans. If you can't get the nutrients in you need, they're a great source. Pasta. You get a lot of pasta for the $1.25 price point. It is higher than Walmart, but you also get more. You're getting 20 ounces versus the 16 ounces you would get at ShopRite. Number 4 on my list is bread and tortillas. They do have a great selection. It's kind of hit or miss for some stores. I've seen where they've had name brand bread and some that don't have bread at all, or they just have the small loaf. But they do have a lot. I've seen bagels, I've seen English muffins, different kinds of breads, tortillas. You could do a lot with those. You could do wraps, you could do pizzas, you can cut them up, you can make chips out of them. There's so many things you could do with that. So that would be my next pick. Number 5 on my list is flour. It seems a shame that I've never seen yeast, at least not in my area, sold at the dollar store. I think that would really up the stock in that, because you could do a lot with the yeast and flour. But even without the yeast, you still can make, there are no yeast breads. You can make pizza dough. From that, you can make snacks, because I've taken pizza dough, drop a little bit of oil, and make zeppoles or zappoles or zeppos, whatever you call them. You can make pasta. You can make pierogies and things like that if you have instant potatoes. There's so much you could do with flour, and it'll really fill your belly. Next on my list is their selection of frozen vegetables and fruits. It's a good way to get some vegetables in when they don't sell, you can't get fresh. So it's a good way to get in. And they're usually, picked at the peak of freshness and then frozen then. And they are getting better with the selection. I found something that I hadn't seen before, and you're gonna see that in the video later. And I added it to tonight's dinner, and it was fabulous. So I think that's great. And their selection is getting wide. And I saw some really good name brand ones there when I was there. Is their selection of meat. Now, it's not a steak, and it's not, the best quality, but there is meat and protein. They have the Farmer John sausages, the 7-ounce ones. They have the Link sausages. I've seen, they do have like the hamburger patties. Now, I don't like the hamburger patties used as a hamburger. Personal preference for me. It may not be for somebody else, but they really work good when you chop it up and you put it like in tacos or anything that you have to chop meat up, maybe spaghetti. The breakfast sausage really goes good in the spaghetti. And they have a great selection now. Now they also have canned meats. Is it worth it? I don't know. But if that's all I can get to, I would go, if I wanted some Spam, they have canned fish, they have canned tuna, they have salmon, fake crab meat. And if you wanted to splurge, this is a splurgy one, these here. Typically I would go towards the sausage and the hamburger meats, and I'm trying to stretch it, or maybe even the canned chicken. But the crab meat and things like that might be a splurge. But hey, Just because you're shopping at the dollar store does not mean you can't have that crab meat if you want to spend that $1.25. Next on my list, milk. They have such a wide selection of milk, and I especially love it because it's shelf stable. So you can put it in the, the pantry or wherever you put your extra supplies, and it only needs to be refrigerated once you open it. But they have skim milk, 1%, 2%, whole milk, oat milk. I almost want to say they have soy milk, but I might be wrong on that one. But they have quite a bit of a selection. So whatever dairy you need, you could get from the dollar store. And it's not a bad price point because milk is going for $4 and change up here, and so it's really not that $4 and change a gallon around here. So it's not a bad price point for the milk. My next one might be a little bit odd, but peanut butter. They do have different kinds of peanut butter. They have creamy peanut butter, they have plain peanut butter, and I even saw honey peanut butter. And peanut butter has a lot of good qualities to it. It's not the best type of peanut butter, but it has a strong flavor, and it can get you through when you're doing a lot of bland cooking. You could use it in pasta. So there's a lot of things you could do with peanut butter, and it's got a real good flavor. Number 10 on my list really isn't a food, but I would definitely invest one of my $1.25s in something if I had nothing. And that would be their selection of spices. They are getting really, really good with the spices. They're not the top of the line because we are at the dollar store, but the variety is there. And when you don't have a whole lot, opening up that spice cabinet can change one dish and make it a completely different dish. And they have better blends. They have the Padilla blends there, which are really good. You could use them like across the board. It's just not like one flavor. You could use it in a bunch of different things. So I would try and get at least, if I couldn't get more than one, I would get one good blend of seasonings. And here go a couple runners up that didn't make the list. One was eggs. And the reason eggs weren't on the list is because I haven't seen them. And my other runner-up is kind of along the lines of the spices, and I'm calling this one flavor enhancers. Kind of like the peanut butter and the spice. Things like cheese, like the Velveeta cheese. They have canned cheese, maybe some enchilada sauce or something like that. That would make my list only as a runner-up, and if you had it to spare, because it can add a lot to a relatively bland meal or something that doesn't have a lot of ingredients. Like if you had the pasta and you had a pack of that cheese, boom, you got macaroni and cheese. Or you could have tortillas, top them off, you could do whatever. And they also have the blocks of cheese, like the shredded cheddar, the shredded mozzarella, which is real cheese, not that fake stuff. And I think you could do a lot with the cheese to enhance flavors of your food. So that ends my list of my top 10 picks and my runners up. So let's get over to the kitchen over there and let's make a meal. Okay, so this is what we're going to be working with. Let me show you what I got a little bit closer. I got some pinto beans, 2 pounds of white rice. I got some Velveeta sauce. I accidentally grabbed the jalapeno. I got some white nacho sauce. I wanted to get the yellow, but they didn't have it. Some tostadas. Some seasoning pack for the rice. Farmer John sausage that I talked about. They finally have it back. And the peppers and onions. Now, what I found, what was new to me anyway, I don't know if it's new to your store or new to my store, but I've never seen this before. It's Santa Fe blend. It's corn, black beans, red pepper, green pepper, and diced onions. So I'm going to give this a go with tonight's dinner and see how we like it. We'll mix it in, and that's less you have to buy. I don't have to buy any beans, which I already bought beans for the refried beans. I don't have to get corn, no peppers, no onions. I think that would be a better way to go than just the peppers and onions, but we're still going to do it. So let's start cooking. The first thing I did was wash and sort my beans to make sure that there wasn't anything in there that I didn't want, like dirt clumps or rocks or anything like that. I then put the beans inside the pressure cooker. There was approximately 2 cups of beans in that bag, so that meant I needed 5 cups of water. So I put the lid on it, turned it around to make sure it was on ceiling, not vent, and then back to the front to set it to P8 for my bean setting. We're just going to let that do its thing and move on to the rice. I'm going to use Dollar Store Saison to season the rice. I rinsed my rice as a personal preference. I added the rice to the pot and then added 1.5 cups of water per cup of rice. I had 2 cups. I then added my seasoning, adding a dash of my homemade taco seasoning. Then I realized I was supposed to boil the water first, but we were here now, so we went with it, and it turned out fine. After a quick taste test, I'd need a little bit more taco seasoning and some pepper. Because I'm impatient, I broke open that Santa Fe peppers and onion and bean pack to see what was in it. It had a lot in it. Not a lot of beans, but I think it was well worth the $1.25. Just before the beans got done, I opened the peppers and onions and I added them to the colander so I can rinse them to get off some of the moisture from being frozen. I also added the Santa Fe blend. We just need to get rid of the liquid and soften the veggies. The beans are done, so I'm going to move this pan over to let it finish cooking while I work on the beans. Before I start the beans, I want to cook the sausage because when the sausage is done browning, I can move it over to the peppers and onions, and then I can use the grease from the sausage to season and cook my beans. Alrighty, so my peppers and onions are looking great. I'm going to add the sausage to the peppers and onions. So in it goes, water and all. And now I'm just going to start mashing these beans. I do have an immersion blender, but I want to show you how you can do it with just regular kitchen utensils. Time to season your beans. I used onion powder, garlic powder, and some pepper. Don't forget the salt. Beans, like potatoes, need salt. So give it a good amount. Time to get back to the mashing. Just continue to mash until they get to a consistency that you want. They will thicken as you cook them, and they will also thicken as they sit. I added a bit more taco seasoning, and these beans are done. And here goes our onion and sausage mixture. I'm going to open both types of cheese and melt them in the microwave. This next step, you could take it or leave it. I just find that it makes for a better experience. I take the shells, I put them under the broiler for about 2 to 3 minutes. Here's the situation we got going on. We have both cheeses melted, plenty of rice, lots of refried beans, and lots of the meat mixture, along with the corn tostadas. I'm going to assemble Eric's first because he can't have the cheese. We're going to start with a nice mountain of refried beans, then the rice, and then the meat mixture on top. My tostada was done the same as Eric's. The only difference was when I got to the end, I did add some cheese. Here's both mine and Eric's plate, and I did put out a little bit of salsa. If you get any benefit at all from my content, you can help me out by clicking like, share, commenting, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. We're at the table! Woo! You ready? I'm not. I'm just getting over a little bit of some food poisoning, and I'm off of food poisoning, on to Tostadas, right? Or Tostadas, whatever they're called. Well, let's give it a go. I have a little bit of salsa over here, but we're just going to give it a taste. Ready? Go. Oh, mine's hot. That's really good. Even with my tummy not feeling good. That's absolutely delicious. The jalapeno cheese, you didn't get that because you can't have cheese. It's definitely got a little bit of a kick. Not so much that I won't eat it though. Let me try a little bit with the salsa on here. So if you were to buy dollar store salsa, you're still going, huh? Guess he likes it. All right, here we go. Mmm. 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 I'm not sure which way I like it better. I think it's fine without it. The cheese that's on top gives it enough oomph that you don't need the salsa. But if you like the salsa, well, there you have it. Dinner's over. How'd they like it? Well, let me show you. Boom. 80% of the beans are gone. At least 80%, if not more. This entire pan was full, this deep. For the cheese, they preferred the jalapeno over that one. The rice, they ate half of that. And the peppers and onions and all that didn't stand a chance. That's all that's left. And I fed 9 people. 9 people on that. And there's even still, there's still 7 Tostadas in here. And the full bag that I bought that I knew I wasn't going to need, but I kept them for another day. These bags from the dollar store have, I think there's 21. I think that there's 21 in here. Let me see. 3 pieces and there's 7. So 21 pieces are in here. We still have 7 pieces left. So there you go. There you have it. This was the preference, although it was thick. Beans are fabulous. Peppers and onions didn't stand a chance. Alrighty. So, I hope you try some of my ideas and I'll see you later. See you later, bye.